Today I have a new headlamp, the Klarus H1A in titanium. As you can see, this is a multi-emitter headlamp with multiple buttons here on the top. It's a dual fuel headlamp running on the included 14500 lithium battery here, or with an alkaline or nickel metal hydride AA battery. Thanks to flashlightzz.com for sending this to me to take a further look at. The front side of this light is made of titanium, and you can see the gray metal here. It's a pretty headlight. It's kind of a matte finish here. To the touch, it's cool and has a very solid feel to it. On the edges here, you've got kind of these molded in, cut in styles here, and I think this is how the backside attaches and holds on to that titanium shell. Probably has some glue and screws too. On the top here are your two buttons for the operation, and they correspond, the little buttons on there, to the LEDs down here. So if you ever get lost, that's what they are. And in the dark, you can feel the size of the buttons and the raisedness of them to know which button to press. The light pivots here on the holder, and it goes to a full 90 degrees down. If you keep going, you can pull it out. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that though. I'm not 100% sure how long that will last if you do that. You can see these notches down here. That's what it clicks on, and there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total notches. To get into the headlamp to change the battery, you just lift up on this little plastic tab and pry that bottom off, and there you are inside. Now I've got a keep power cell in here, but the Klarus cell that's included is pretty good as well. The contacts are gold lined. You've got a spring on this end, and you have little Phillips screws down on the edge. I didn't disassemble this further, but you could when you get yours. Now let me talk about the strap here quick. It is an elastic strap, and it's printed Klarus on the outside, and it's got gray and little red accents on there. It's the inside that's a little bit different that I want to make note of here. All the way around, almost, you've got this, and it's hard to see, and I'm not sure how well to show it up on camera here, but it's this clear silicon-based bead around here. This serves two purposes. It helps it stick onto like your forehead a little bit better, but if you were wearing it on a maybe a baseball hat or a hard hat, it would help it stick to that as long as it's clean. It's a nice touch that I haven't seen from my other headlamps that I've reviewed, such as the Olights, the Army Techs, and others. There is no pad here below, but it looks like it is designed for maybe one in the future. And you can remove it by coming down here and bending it and pulling it through. Klarus markets the titanium on the outside of this light as being super durable and very heat dispersing. While titanium is strong and durable metal, it's not known for its heat dispersion. Titanium has a relatively low thermal conductivity rating. For example, titanium has a rating of 9 watts per meter Celsius. Aluminum is 205 to 250 watts per meter Celsius, and copper is 386 watts per meter Celsius. In this example, the higher number is better and means the material has a better thermal conductivity. In this application, that means it dissipates heats more efficiently, keeping the light's internals cool and keeping it cooler to the touch. By comparison, that 19 number is very similar to stainless steel. So if you have any stainless steel flashlights, like the Astrolux S41S that I reviewed here recently, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. The benefit titanium has is that it's very high strength and very lightweight, which is why I suspect it was chosen here instead of its thermal properties. Klarus should stress that it's high strength and it's lightweight instead of its thermal properties, since its thermal properties really aren't anything fantastic. So the headlamp with the band and the battery comes in at 95.9 grams, and this light is rated for IPX6, which means that it's just fine for rain and dust, but not full submersion. So for normal tasks, pretty much anything you can think of instead of diving or swimming, this would be a good headlamp for that. This light takes a little bit different approach to others that I've looked at recently by having 3 different LEDs. The main brightest emitter is a Cree XPL V6 LED in cool white with a maximum of 550 lumens. It has 3 modes: high at 550 lumens, medium at 100 lumens, and low at 30 lumens. The emitters are all flood, and even under this lens here, the second emitter, which is this one here, is in the middle of the light. It's a Cree XP-E2 R2 LED with a warmer 4000 Kelvin tone. Its output's only 50 lumens on medium and 10 lumens on low mode. And lastly, there's the Cree XP-E2 P2 red LED that has only one mode at 10 lumens of continuous operation and a strobe at 10 lumens in red. I wish the red had a lower lumen mode as well, because it's pretty decently bright, as you'll see from my night shots. On the alkaline or rechargeable AA batteries, outputs are the same except for turbo, which is 186 lumens instead of the 550 with the lithium battery. So here is the beam pattern in high out of that main emitter, and I'll kick down to low. And you can see it has a nice fade option as well. And I can kick on here, so I've got two emitters on at once, as you can see. You can run red and white, which is nice. Here are my night shots for the Klarus H1A in titanium. Now this light has several LEDs, and I'm going to kind of walk through those here. What I've got it on right now is the side white lamp in high mode, and this is saying 50 lumens on a 14500 lithium battery. If I poke it again here, it goes down to low. So that's high, that's low. If I point it out a little bit more in my yard here, that's low and that's high. Not a lot of difference here. Back to high. So this light also does red, and red's fairly bright here, as you can see. Just looking down basically at my feet here, but you can see the snow and down the stairs just a little bit, but it really doesn't project. By default, this light comes on in high with the main lamp, and this is 550 lumens. If I pan up and look, I can see that fence pretty well. I can see across my yard, but much beyond that, it really doesn't throw. To the naked eye, I can kind of start to see the back of the neighbor's fence there, but to the camera, it really isn't showing up much. The color rendering here is pretty decent for the Cree XPL V6 LED. Again, it's 550 lumens. And if I kick down to its low mode here, which is the next mode in the UI, it's 30 lumens without that main LED. And one more time, here is medium. And this is 100 lumens on the 14500 cell. Again, this throws decently. This is probably where I'd run it for the maximum runtime, because you get 3 hours and 39 minutes at this mode according to Klarus. Now with this light, you can turn on multiple of these LEDs all at once. So that's turbo, and then I've got the side LEDs on. Noticeably, this really doesn't make any difference to the eye. It's a little bit confusing to me why they do this, because it just consumes more power and doesn't really functionally give you a whole lot more light. Runtimes are timed, it seems. This light really doesn't go beyond slightly warm for when in use for long periods of time. And to me, this is a little bit disappointing, since on turbo, it only lasts at that 550 lumen number for 3 to 4 minutes, as you can see from my runtime graph. You can bump it up again, but it's a manual trigger to do that. Runtimes in the middle mode of the main emitter is really the main output of this light. And using that Klarus cell, it was much longer at about 55 minutes before it dropped off significantly, with runtimes ending at that 80-minute mark. The light does have low voltage protection, and working voltage is 0.9 volts to 4.2 volts. On a standard in-loop battery, output isn't much in turbo, and it's a lot shorter at about 2 minutes, but that main output of 100 lumens in medium mode lasted for nearly 115 minutes before a sharp decline over the next 20 minutes. So if you're looking for lights per lumen and you don't need that turbo number, the in-loop is probably the way to go with this light for the maximum amount of runtime. The UI on this main LED starts off in high mode, unfortunately. And as you can see, it has a slow fade in there. You click again, it goes down to low, and you click again, it goes to medium. I wish it would go from low, medium to high, but unfortunately it doesn't do that. One could argue that if you want low mode, you probably should use these secondary LEDs and not the main emitter. But I think it'd be simpler UI-wise if they just started in low and left it to the user to bump up as needed. On the secondary LEDs, the UI is similar. It starts off in low and then goes to high, which is kind of backwards. And you can see there that the second emitter there is warmer in color. And then if I keep clicking, I get to red. And if I double click to red, I can get to blinking. This light also has a lockout feature if you press and hold for 3 seconds to lock or unlock the light. Included with this light is the Klarus 14500. That's 750 milliamp hours, and this is a lithium battery. It is one of these that has the micro USB charging built into the top of the battery. I had no issues with length of this battery in other flashlights that could take 14500s. So it is standard length. And I had 0 issues with this battery. When you're charging it up, you have a red LED up here on top to let you know it's charging, and it does go kind of a white blue when it's finished charging. Charging was pretty slow though. On my meter, I was able to test it at 0.34 amps for pretty much the entire length of the charge, and this was over 2 hours of charging time. I'll put the exact number in the edit here. You can always throw this charger in a more conventional battery charger, but you shouldn't charge it at more than an amp, just for the safety sake of the battery and the best life of it. So here is the box that the light comes in. It's a nice retail box here. It shows a picture of the headlamp. And on the back you've got a few specs here. I do wish maybe this was just a slightly darker color. It's kind of this light silver, and it's a little bit hard to read and even harder to photograph. And there does seem to be a bit of a error here on the side of the box. It says this picture is for reference only. It seems like that was maybe left on there, and maybe they'll fix that in future productions. Inside the box you get this nice zippered case, which is how the headlight ships. I really like these. It keeps everything together. Inside, again, it's the place for the headlamp to go. You get a nice little pouch here to keep a battery or a cable in. One thing to note, this light does not include a cable. I ended up liking this headlamp more than I thought I would at the beginning. The 3 different emitters are a nice way to give this headlamp a lot of ability to cover a lot of situations. For me, I think this is going to go in my Go bag or my tornado preparedness bag because of its dual fuel capability. While I generally prefer 18650 headlamps, and I have several 18650 headlamps and already one in the bag too, from reading about other people in disaster situations, the availability of AA batteries is fairly prevalent. Having the ability to run a light with AA's and as a headlamp would just give me flexibility, and I like that. This doesn't take up much room, and it's lightweight and it's durable, so I think it'd be a good option for that. If you don't have a headlamp, and maybe you're just starting your flashlight collection, just need something for around the house, basic, and don't need a ton of runtime, I think this would also be a nice option. It gives you that option to run the lithium batteries, but if you've got a project that's extending longer and you say you don't have any charged, you can always throw an in-loop or even an alkaline battery in there to keep you going. While I personally love titanium, and a large part of my EDC is titanium, such as the knife I'm carrying today, titanium scales here. Let me know if you'd like to see a review of this one. In the headlamp, though, titanium isn't necessary from a performance standpoint. While it is strong, I think titanium does give you more cool points and style points though. Flashlight Z has told me an aluminum version is coming out later this year, which I think might be a little bit less expensive and may give better thermal properties. I think it'd be cool if Klarus did some anodizing on the titanium version to make it a little more special and to help justify the extra cost of the expensive material. I'll have a link below in the description on where you can check out the Klarus Titanium H1A on Flashlight Z's website. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. And make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, as it helps me to continue making videos like this one.